scrimmage Saturday, I think for the most part, we allowed a lot of young players to actually play in a live scrimmage. I think the folks that have covered our team know that I'm not real big on tackling a whole lot in practice, but I thought it was necessary for a lot of our young guys to participate in that. As we continue to count this thing down, we'll do that again Sunday. We'll have somewhat of a live scrimmage for some of the young guys that are here that hadn't played a lot, and some of the freshmen that have come in early. So we've put in most of our stuff on offense and defense. We've installed things. I think for the most part, that's the good thing. Now going forward, as these months continue to progress, our opportunity to really become more detailed in things that we want to do offensively, defensively, and special teams is critical. And I talked to the players about that, being more of a detail-oriented kind of person. And don't let spring ball all of a sudden stop your excitement of trying to learn what we're asking you to do, both offensively and defensively. So for the most part, I'm gonna knock on wood, spring has gone pretty well in the fact that not a lot of injuries have occurred, which is always a good thing. And then I've got to take our hats off to our medical staff and all those professionals that are guiding us still through this virus, that we've been able to get all these practices in. You know, when you start this thing up again, you're always a little nervous about what is it going to look like. But to the players' credit, to the coaches' credit as well, doing the right thing, getting tested every day for players, 7 days a week, for coaches, 2 to 3 days a week. We've done that. We're wearing masks when it's necessary, which for us it still is in this building. And all those things are being done in the right way. And I can't thank the players and all the people that help us through this enough.
Thanks for the time, Coach. We'll open it up to questions from the media using the raise hand function. If you have a question for Coach, use the raise hand function. Start off with Trevor.
Hey, Herm, just wanted to get your thoughts on how your passing game is coming along. We saw you have a couple receivers out, and obviously those guys are going against a talented secondary every day. So just given those factors, how do you think they're developing?
I'm glad you said that, because I talked to him about that a little bit. I talked to the offense day before yesterday. I said, you know, when you really break this thing down, some of you young receivers, you're going against a pretty talented group in the back end when our starters are out there. They've got a lot of football experience. You guys have covered this team. You guys know who they are. I don't need to mention who they are. But I said, just take that in consideration. Of every day you come to practice, those are the type of players you're going to compete against. So I think for the most part, Jaden's starting to get more comfortable with a few of them. We still have a couple guys that are going to come in here in summer, some receivers as well. But for the most part, I think they've done a nice job. And Jaden's starting to get a feel for them. So that's kind of fun to watch.
Jesse?
Hey, Coach. During this last week of practice, what do you feel still needs to be achieved, to lay a good foundation for fall camp?
Well, I just think the assignment and the alignment errors are the things that you always look at. You guys know how I feel about football. More games are lost than won due to the fact of just not doing the right thing. And that's been preached around here for a long time. And it's going to continue to be the way we go about doing our business. But it's just defining what we do. And I told the players this, to be quite honest. You know, we've put a lot in offensively and defensively for a reason. We wanted to get it all on tape. And now we have to learn the finer things. And there's going to come a point to where when you start the season and you play opponents, you're not going to do everything that everything you've done on offense or defense. But you want to make sure you've got this in your system. You have it in your toolbox, per se. So when you play an opponent where you feel this is what we need to do on defense, this is what we need to do on offense, you've actually covered it before and you've actually gone through it. So that's kind of the mechanism. That's the mindset we have with spring football. And I think for the most part, we've done that.
Jordan?
Hey, Coach. Last week, Coach Hawkins noted that Chase Lucas has been even more of a leader this year, at one point saying he was going around practice, getting on people for not watching enough film. What have you seen from Chase this year, and do you notice a difference in growth from him from last year?
Well, we're fortunate enough to have Chase to come back. He's been a part of this program even before I got here. I can remember when I first met Chase, and we had a nice conversation about me becoming the head coach and kind of my ideas of how I looked at him and how I viewed him as a football player. And told him that, eventually you're going to be one of the leaders of this football team. And rightly so. He's a team captain. He's played in enough football games, and the players respect him as a person, as a player, that when he says something, his voice is kind of, it makes a loud noise, and players are knowing that, hey, we got to hold each other accountable, especially the guys that decided to come back. That senior group that could have obviously left. We got a bunch of them that decided to come back. So I think it's up to it's in their best interest, knowing that they wanted to come back, that they have to show the leadership here because it's their football team. And I like guys when they do that. And Chase has been one of those guys.
Trevor?
Herm, now that you've had just a few weeks here to soak in the newcomers, who jumps out to you as far as guys who have an ability to maybe help you earlier, guys you can see develop well for the long term?
Well, you always ask me that question, and I'm not going to mention names because when I do that, you guys know what happens. I get the phone call from the parent. Why didn't you mention my son? You don't like my son? I love them all. I will say this. I think if you followed this team the last 3 seasons, young players show up. They have an opportunity to play. And we have some at skill positions, especially, that will have an opportunity, in the back end of our defense, obviously, and the receiving core as well. We know about the backs. The backs were young last year. We've got a few offensive linemen that I think that'll have a chance. Not, to be in a backup role, to maybe come in and get some reps during the season. That's always a good thing. So I think going forward, the more they can continue to grow and gain the confidence of what we're asking them to do, the more they have the ability to play. And I think the structure has been set that way here, and they like that. That's why you see a lot of the kids that we recruit actually want to come into spring because they want to be ahead of the game. They want to have an opportunity to go to spring ball, learn the system, and then have an opportunity to compete for playing time. And there'll be a host of those guys that are able to do that.
Last question, Ethan.
Yeah, Coach, in spring football so far, there's a lot of different things that people have been talking about, but what's impressed you the most about the team so far?
I think for us, the enjoyment of being together as a team. When you think about it, we had a weak start, and then we had to postpone for about 3. And then all of a sudden, those 3 weeks went by real fast. Well, this has been a solid month or so of football. And I think the camaraderie and just the chemistry of the team is coming together because we're here every day. They get 1 day off. When they're not practicing, they're in meetings or they're lifting. So we've been together as a group now for almost a month. And that's been a lot of fun. It really has. I mean, guys knowing each other, the new freshman class coming in, we had some transfers to come in. I think the bonding of the team and watching it, that's been fun. And the question was asked, along with the seniors that decided to come back, they're all into this now. I mean, they're a lot of guys are speaking and saying things to the young guys. And so that's kind of fun to watch for me.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Chase Lucas is joining us. Thanks for the time, Chase.
Yep, anytime.
Go straight to questions using the raised hand function. Start off with Chris.
Hey, Chase. Well, what would the veteran Chase Lucas tell the young Chase Lucas or the current freshman coming up? All the things that you've learned to this point in time in your career.
Oh man, that's a hard one. I've been really, really blessed to be a part of a program like this. Going from all stages from 2016 to 2021, and I've had a ball. But what I would tell myself is just lock in. You know what I mean? Like, pay attention. Do the things that is asked of you. And I think that's something that took me, a couple years to figure out and deal with some off the field things. And I feel like I would tell myself, like, everything ties in together. what you do off the field, is an exact representation of how you play on the field. So if I could tell any of the freshmen too, like I've been telling them this whole time, like, man, the party's always gonna be there. You know what I mean? This Tempe is full of great, social life and atmosphere. But at the end of the day, you're here to play football and go to school and, create a better life for yourself. So I just been telling the youngins, man, like, the party's always going to be there. You know what I mean? Whether you're 19, 18, 25, 28, you know what I mean? It's always going to be there. So lock in, grind right now, do everything that you can do to put yourself in a great position and, rock out. And I feel like if I would have learned that, or if I had some guys to show me that leadership, when I was a freshman or sophomore, I don't know if I'd be here. But at the end of the day, I'm blessed to have been in this position and, to help out the young guys too.
Leo?
Hey, Chase. How are you kind of feeling at this point in spring ball about the camaraderie and talent in that DB room this year? Obviously, you've been around for a while, but is this group different? Are you seeing something different about this group?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I've been telling everybody, this is probably the most talented group I've ever been a part of. And as well as the camaraderie, man, it's something that you just got to see for yourself. We got 20 some guys in the DB room, and not one person hates on another. You know what I mean? And that was something that I never, had coming up here. People were always trying to compete, but compete negatively. Like they would talk about each other. But I just feel like this, this room is very special. We got some young guys like Mason and Tommy and RJ that came in to compete with us and to show us their talents. And then you got young guys like T. Lee and Jordan Clark, stepping up big time. And I really give credit to me, DP and Jack, because we push them guys every day. We push no matter what. I don't care what it is, if it's regular ball drills, if it's watching film, I'm pushing everybody every day. And it doesn't even translate to the DB room. It translates to everybody, the offensive linemen, the running backs, everything. And I told everybody, like, man, I didn't come back here to be average. I didn't come back here to be good. I came back here to be legendary, to be great. And like I said to everybody, I'm gonna hold everybody to that standard.
Jordan Ham?
Hey, Chase, hope you're well. It seems like you've been a leader in the secondary since, you were a sophomore, but how have you evolved and transformed as a leader now heading into another year and kind of trying to fill that role as much as you can?
Really, I have to really give a lot of the credit for my success for this past year and some changes really to Jack, man. Jack Jones, he when he stepped in and came back from JUCO, and everybody knew who Jack was. I've played with him in the Army All-American game, but just having that presence, that type of swagger, that type of athleticism, that type of ball player that he is, like, it just kind of really just stepped up my game. Like, I was worried about my job, really. Like, I was like, man, look, this guy really came in to set some things up, and I felt like I needed to grow, and I needed to have a reality check. And I believe that Jack was my reality check. And I feel like going on, man, we compete to be the best, but we're the best of friends. You know what I mean? And I believe that after I handled things off the field, everything started getting, correlating to on the field, and everything started happening for me good, positively. And for me, I just feel like I was a role model or a leader in the secondary, but I wasn't a role model or a leader to the team. And I feel like that's why Coach Herm didn't put the C on my chest until this year, because it was like I wasn't vocal enough. I wasn't pushing everybody to be their best. I didn't even think I wanted to be the best. You know what I mean? I didn't know where my mindset was. But now going forward, all I care about is this team. All I care about is my friends, my family, and my brothers that play on this team. And I could care less about anything else. I just know, like, moving forward, I want to put everybody in a great position to take care of their family and, to really be legendary here at Arizona State.
Michelle?
Hi, Chase. Can you tell us about the decision that you made to come back? What went into that, and what were the main reasons you came back? And also, what are you doing to work? What do you want to work on the most this year to get better?
Um, Really, my whole decision. It took me a long time. It took me a couple weeks. Really, I just had to talk to my friends and my family and really pray on it to my aunt and I just had a decision to just be like, man, look, really, honestly, Jerry Neely, our equipment manager, I was having a long talk with him, and it was a couple of days before I made my decision, and he really kind of just looked at me and he said, he was like, man, look, like, I don't know what's going through your head. I don't know if you want to stay or if you want to leave. I don't know what you're planning on doing, but just know, like, if you stayed and you just continue to do what you're doing throughout the 2020 season, he's like, you'll be legendary here. You know, you can get in the Hall of Fame at Arizona State. You can be a certified Chandler, Tempe, Arizona legend. And I went home and I literally just thought about that for hours. I'm just like, man, like, all the BS and all the hard work that's got to go through this year, like, is it going to be worth it? And I talked to my mom's and she said, you know, it's really, I think it'd be the best decision to come back and ball out this next year and then, you know, go as high as you can and put Arizona State on the map. So I went to sleep that night, woke up and told Coach Hawk and told everybody, like, man, look, I'm coming back. Make sure you save a spot for me this year. So, and then I think, honestly, man, it was the best decision I've made.
And what are you working on to get better? What is the one thing you really want to work on this year?
The one thing I really, really want to work on, honestly, is really just shining light on all the young kids. You know, I've been 19, 18, 20. Shoot, I just turned 24. So, you know, I got some years on these kids. And I believe that if I show them the right way or show them opposite of what, you know, the leaders when I was young here showed me, I feel like Arizona State could be the next Alabama, and it could be the next powerhouse in the Pac-12. And Herm and Coach Hawk and Coach AP said it all starts with me. So if I'm going to be the legendary guy that I keep saying I want to be, I got to change some things. So I'm going to change some things around here.
Christian?
Yeah, Chase, you mentioned some of the young DBs coming in, but I was wondering, you know, elsewhere on the defense, who are some of the young guys you've seen who've impressed you, and how have you seen the talent level on the defense rise over your years in the program?
Man, tenfold. I gotta give a real big shout out to Antonio Pierce and Coach Hawk and, you know, Coach Rod and all the defensive recruits, because they went and recruited their butts off. You know, they took time from their family and really went and recruited. But some young guys that I got to give it to is Eric. You know, one of the linebackers. Kid's going to be a great addition to the team. Omar is a train that can't be stopped at some points, and I'm so excited for his future here. Like I mentioned, T. Lee, Mason, Jordan Clark. I don't even look at him as a young guy. You know, he started with us last year. There's just so many. It's really just so many. Connor Soley is out there doing his thing, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like, everybody wants to be with the ones, but we have 11 starters that came back, so you got to beat us out of our job. And I believe that competition brings the best out of everybody. So I think the young kids is knowing like, yeah, this is where I want to be, because everybody wants to compete for it, you know. And like I said, Tommy Hill, I think he's gonna be a great kid, great addition to the team. You know, he's really soaking up all the knowledge and information that me and Jack and all the secondary is giving to him, and he's getting better and better every day. And I'm really, really excited to, you know, go into the 2021 season with all of them, and then, you know, go into the NFL and seeing all these kids can carry on the tradition and the culture that we put into this building.
A few more questions for Chase. Michael.
Yeah, Chase, to kind of piggyback off that with AP, I mean, last year I know he's co-defensive coordinator with Coach Lewis, but him calling the defenses this year, do you feel so far through spring practice that there's more of a comfort that you guys are on the same page with this play calling?
Oh yeah, definitely. To me, I really feel like I said, we had 11 starters coming back. So on the defensive side of the ball. So, like, really, honestly, you can call man or cover 3 or cover 2 all game, and we're going to play the hardest cover 2, cover 3 man you'll ever see. So I really think we ended up getting comfortable with the play calls, because leaders like Kyle Soley, D Black, Merlin, me, Jack, we all were harping on the young guys to take notes, you know, during meetings. I think Marv, our coach Lewis, he hit it really big last year. He would get on all of us like, why don't you guys have a notepad and pencil out? Like, you guys want to be in the NFL? Well, this is a pro model. This is what the NFL does. And I believe when we took that into the spring ball and me managing people's film times and all that, it was just like we knew what we were doing. We knew what we were doing before we touched the field. And I got to give that a lot of credit to the coaches. They've done a phenomenal job from the D line all the way to the secondary. I think they've done a phenomenal job teaching us.
Jordan?
Yeah, hey Chase. A little bit earlier, Herm mentioned that he remembers coming into the program and sitting down and talking with you and just kind of saying like he knew you were going to be a leader one day. How much of this did you see coming? I mean, obviously you didn't see an extra year coming, but how much of your leadership now did you see coming back when Herm started a few years ago?
Man, I came a long way. I'll tell you guys a quick story. Last year, I was working my tail off. All I could think about was just being a captain, my final year being a captain. And I ended up not getting it. I ended up not getting the C on my chest. And I remember when Herm pulled back the paper and all the names was on there, I just remember sitting there looking at it and just feeling my heart break. You know what I mean? I put so much hard work and dedication into something that I didn't get. And I remember walking out of the meeting crying, like bawling tears. And Herm came up to me and stopped me and said, look, man, like, don't let this bug you. You know what I mean? They're just these are just names. You know what I'm saying? These are who we thought that could be the captains of the team. And I asked him, and I was being real with him. I said, man, look, like, why didn't you pick me? He said, you did nothing wrong, Chase. You did everything perfect, but these guys did it better than you. So I shook my head and I told him, I said, okay. I said, I can respect that. I didn't give him no other reason not to give me that C on my chest this year. You know what I mean? I just felt like I was out to prove something. I was out to prove something to myself, to Herm, and to everybody that doubted me out here. And like I said, man, I think it was the best decision that I've made, and I'm just really, really blessed to be a captain on this football team.
Last question, Ethan.
Yeah, Chase, going back a little bit to yourself, what makes Chase different on the field and maybe off of it too? And what makes Chase Lucas legendary?
Ooh, man. Well, I mean, one thing, I don't think there's ever been a 5-year starter in Pac-12 history. So I think that's legendary, one thing. But how I carry myself on and off the field is the same. I always just keep my head high. You know what I mean? I just always want to be the best energy. You know what I mean? I like kind of how Frank Darby was, and no matter if you saw him at a truck station or at a bus stop, in here in class, he was always the same. And he never, lowered the throttle on that. So me living with him for 4 years, it just rubbed off on me. It really did. And I feel like what's going to make me legendary is me separating myself from how I was my freshman, sophomore, junior, and last year even. Like, I feel like there's always room for improvement. And whether it's film, whether it's me getting right with Coach Joe in the weight room, I just feel like there's always room for improvement. And until I feel like I've done everything I can to check off all those boxes, I'm not going to be legendary. And hopefully that will start by August, September when we start playing.
Great stuff. Thank you, Chase.
Yep. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Chase.